Hello and welcome. I am Lisa and this is my channel Cross by Floss, where I chat about my love of cross stitch as well as life blabbings. Today's video is all about Mira May. Mira May. I am so excited about Mira May. I hope you are too. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. If you are a new viewer, I hope you like what you see, subscribe, like, do all the things, click the bell, yada yada. You will hear Mr. Odin snoring in the background. He's a little tired this morning. This is actually his nap time. All right. If you have come to this video, you must be a Mirabilia lover. And if you're not a Mirabilia lover yet or convert, I hope that after this video you are. I am just going to talk a little bit about my journey of Mirabilias. I have a complete love of Mirabilias. Mirabilia is done by Nora Corbett. She is the designer behind, an artist behind Mirabilias and Nora Corbett patterns. I do two different specials throughout the year, one being Mira May, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and then also Nora November, because they are two very distinct patterns, I guess. Mirabilias are a little bit more they're just more. They have more floss, they have more chronic, they have more specialty beads, specialty floss, specialty and then beads and that kind of thing. Whereas Nora's, not that they don't have those things, but they're smaller. The designs are also smaller. And so you'll find that I don't want to say that Mirabilias are more elegant, but in a way they are. They're just more. It's a bigger pattern, bigger overall coverage, and like I said, more specialty flosses and more beading. That is not to say that some of the Noras that are being produced now or charted now are not having those things, but again, those designs are not as large. Okay, so Mira May. What is Mira May? Mira May, I started 3 years ago. For me, the way that I do it, I do believe that there have been other creators in the community who have done some sort of Mira May in their floss tubes or in their stitching life. And but the way that I do mine is I don't know that I've seen anybody else do it the way that I have in the last 3 years, and I just enjoy it. It's just fun, and what it does is it gets me to get out the mirrors that I have. So 20 years ago, we'd had a fire in our house, and I lost a lot of my cross stitch, and one of my neighbors was a cross stitcher, and so she shared a few of her cross stitch patterns with me. And in the bundle of things that she gave me was a Mirabilia pattern, and it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And it was kitted up, I think, with the specialty flosses and the beads. And she might have had fabric in there, but it was linen, and I don't work on linen. So not only was I intimidated by the beads and the specialty floss as well as the linen, but I was also really intimidated by the pattern itself because it was gorgeous. Not that what I hadn't been doing in the 90s, really I hadn't been cross-stitching a whole lot because I had 4 children and a lot of after school, you know, events and things that they were doing. And I'm so sorry for the chair, still haven't fixed it. But so, you know, I wasn't cross-stitching a whole lot, but I did want to get back into it. And so they also shared the needlework store that she frequented and purchased Mirabilias. And that's where my love affair with Mirabilias came in. But I was absolutely freaked out on using them because on the back of many of the patterns, it shows that it's done on linen. And there wasn't a conversion or an alternative for Aida on every pattern. There are, I think, going forwards, but I think that on quite a few, they only give like the linen. Yeah. Yeah, either the 32 or 28 count fabric, and none of which I worked on. I'm strictly an Aida girl. And so I was intimidated. I didn't know how to use them. Plus the other thing is that I wasn't sure how to do the beading because if I used to work in a hoop back in the day, right before Q-snaps came out. And so, you know, I didn't want to crush my stitches. I also didn't want to crush my beading. And the scroll rods that were available to me at that time were not that big. And so, you know, I was intimidated, but I would buy many patterns. Every time I went into the shop, I bought a pattern and I tried to kit it up with as many beads as I could afford. Because here's the other thing about Mirabilias. Yes, they can be very expensive when you kit them up. Worth it, in my opinion, because the end result is gorgeousness, but it can be expensive. And you know, with 4 small kids at the time, you know, money was tighter. And so there were a lot of patterns that I didn't buy because of either the specialty floss or the bead amount that was in the pattern. And of course, so many of those went into OOP, which is out of print status. I regret those choices, but it's okay. You can find some on the secondary market, as well as there are wonderful people in the community who are very happy to share for an amount sometimes that is not prohibitive for, you know, your pocketbook, as well as some people will just strictly just give you the chart, which, or lend it to you, which is the case of what I have with my Queen of Peace. And so anyways, there are a lot of generous stitchers in the community, especially the Mirabilia community, as well as all of the stitching community. And but it's just, yes. So I would buy these patterns, charts, and I didn't do anything with them. I didn't, because I was intimidated again. And then, you know, I was watching, and I know I've said this before, but I was watching, I believe it was Stitch and Mommy. And she had said, and I don't think that it was strictly about Mirabilias itself, but she basically said, you know, it's just one stitch at a time. If you know how to cross stitch, there's no reason for you to be intimidated by the patterns. And so I was like, yeah, what is my issue? And so I slowly started pulling out some of my Miras and Nora's and started stitching them. And they make me happy. They just make me so happy. I love stitching on them. The other really great thing about the majority, not every pattern, but the majority of the Mirabilias and Nora's is there's a lot of block stitching, which is really gratifying when you are stitching something and you can get to a section that it's all one color and you just, you know, just do this whole big block and you just see it come across on your fabric. Oh my goodness. I love. And so now I do Mira May, which helps me get out some of my Miras that I collect, lovingly acquire, and make a concerted effort to at least start something and then get it into my whips. I don't really have a rotation, but into my whips. and then to work on whenever I can. I also do Mira Monday stitching, and there's a hashtag on Instagram. My Instagram is the same, crossed by floss. Actually, it's crossed _ by _ floss on Instagram, and I try most Mondays to remember to post that it's Mira Monday stitching. And that's just like, get your Miras or your Noras out and stitch on them for, you know, however long you can on Monday. Some days I get, you know, maybe a strand of floss in. Sometimes I get a lot done, just depending on what my Mondays look like. So, okay, so what I do for Mira Monday, Mira May, is there are 5 Mondays in May. And what I do is each Monday I will pull out a kitted Mira that I have. And I have a lot of Miras, and many of them are kitted. Maybe not completely kitted, but kitted enough for me to actually make a great stab at starting it. And many of them even to a finish if I ever get to a finish. And so that's pretty cool. But what I do is each Monday I will pull out a kitted Mira and I will start it. And each day I will do like a vlog style of what has been done in that day. And at the end of the week on Saturdays, I will upload my progress for that week. And so it's kind of cool that you get to see the progression of the very beginning of starting it to 5 days worth of stitching for me. And again, some days I'll get a lot of stitching in, and some days I get, so minimal stitching in, depending on what's happening. Mr. G is now home on Mondays and Tuesdays because that's his weekend for his job. And so Mondays and Tuesdays are going to be a bit of a struggle, but it's okay. It's still going to happen. The other thing that I like to do is on for Mira May, because there are 5 Mondays, and I will work that full week at the end of May. There's only 3 days at the end of May, I think. So I'll go into June to finish off that week of May. So 5 full weeks, 5 Miras, and what I try to do is pick a fairly newish Mira that has been released, a few that are still in, in that you can buy, whether it's online or at an LNS, that you should be able to find fairly easily. 1 OOP, an out of print, because I like to see the out of prints. I like to, while they may be harder to find, seeing some of the out of print Miras, they're gorgeous. I mean, all the Miras are gorgeous, but what I like is being able to see an out of print that, you may not, when you look online, if you go to the Mirabilia website and you look at all of the current patterns, of course, all the OOPs are taken off of there. And so you might, if you're a new Mirabilia stitcher, you might never have known that that was a Mirabilia pattern. And so I like to do an OOP. I will try to do an OOP that is not exorbitant cost-wise if you can find it on the secondary market. I do know that there's a couple of Facebook groups that have Mirabilias for sale, or even like if you have a unicorn chart and somebody might gift it. So I will try to make that not hugely prohibitive. Like, I'm not going to do Lady of the Flag or Queen of Freedom. I won't do those ones. Those ones are very, very expensive patterns to try and find. And then I also tried to do a freebie. So last year was the first year that was it the first year? I think it was the first year that I actually did a freebie pattern. And, hi Bubba. And if you go, and I'm going to link it below, if you go to the Mirabilia website, it actually has a little tab that says free charts, and on there are a phenomenal amount of free charts that Nora has produced and charted and has given to that website. And so last year I actually started and finished and framed one. What I did do with the freebie for last year was I put it on a different count fabric than called for. I also didn't use any of the specialty flosses, being Krynic, and I also did that pattern have beads? It might have had some beads. I think it had a couple of beads, and I didn't use beads because I wanted stitchers to know that you don't need to use, if you hate Krynic, I hate Krynic, then don't use it. If you want to use treasure braid in petite treasure braid in its place, use that. If you don't like beading, don't bead. It's your pattern, it's your finished project. You do it how you would like to. And so I wanted to be able to show that you could do that, and you could do it on a different count fabric too. Like, most of the patterns are called for a 32 count linen, and 16 count Aida is comparable to a 32 count linen. It also says that you can do it with a 28 count, and 14 count is also that comparable. So I think anywhere from 14, 16, 28, and 32 are pretty standard sizes, I think, that Mirabilia stitchers use. If if anybody uses anything different, please correct me. But what I wanted to do was also show that you could do it on different size fabric. So I did this one on a 20 count fabric. And this was the freebie from last, well, it's not a freebie from last year. It's a freebie that I chose to do last year. And is this called Mother's Arms? Oh, goodness. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it down below. But it is one of the free charts. And not only did I start it, finished it, but I got it framed. And this has museum glass on it, so you don't see it glare, which I absolutely love. And she's just hanging out on my bookcase behind me. But this is done on a 20 count, and you can see how small and dainty it is. And I absolutely loved every single stitch on this. I did not use any of the Krynic. And one of the viewers, because I wasn't using the beading, one of the viewers said to me, why don't you use French knots? And I was like, that is genius. So if you don't like to bead, but you can do French knots like a pro, you do French knots. I mean, again, whatever you would like to do on your pattern, on your piece of fabric, that's what you do, because that's what stitching is. Stitch what you love, do what you love, and what is comfortable for you. So, all right, how about we go into my Mirabilia stash? So I don't really want to, show all of my mirrors, but here is my Mirabilia basket. Let's see here, let's put this one back in there. But this is my Mirabilia basket. Many of these are already kitted up with either the majority of the beads and the majority of the specialty flosses as I have been able to get, or the DMC. So this is, and certainly it's not as big of a stash as others, and it's bigger than others. So, but I do have quite a few, and let me see if I can show you kind of what some of my contenders are. So I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, because obviously I want it to be a fun surprise for that week. But I do have a few, I don't even know that I'm going to call, you know what, how about we just, I wasn't really going to make this like a Mirabilia parade, but I suppose I could. All right, the first one, and this is actually a contender, is the Kiss. And I absolutely love this pattern. This one I did get on the secondary market. Yes, this one I did get on the secondary market, and then found out that my LNS had a copy. So yes, I did buy that too. Elizabeth. Oh, I've always loved Elizabeth. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous. This one I just got, actually, Elizabeth and Winter Love. I purchased both at Craft Gallery in Findlay, Ohio. They were clearing them for half off, all of the Mirabilias. There is nothing left. Or if there is, there's like maybe one or two, and they're the newer patterns. They didn't have any of the older patterns, and they just don't sell there apparently. And I was like, well, but now I shop here, and I would buy them. Ashley's Roses. Now this one I did get on the secondary market. She is an OOP, I believe, and she's just beautiful, just beautiful. Now she has a phenomenal amount of, like, this is the floss list, right? Like, that's the floss list for this pattern. That's a lot of DMC. And then she's got, when was this one produced? 1998. So even back then, wow, that's a lot of floss. This one I was so excited about, Villa Mirabilia. I also got this one from the secondary market, and this is also an OOP. And again, OOP means out of print, meaning that it is, you will not be able to find this pattern on any, you won't be able to find it on the Witchold site or the Mirabilia site. They're gone for sale, but you can find it. Sometimes you might find it at an LNS who, you know, has had a stash and they just don't sell, or mainly on the secondary market, or out of the kindness of some stitchy friends. The other one that I got was Snow Days. I love this. I love this, and I see this on a dark background. I just, and I love snowmen. I love a snowman. I love a cute snowman. Just adorable. And then this one, oh man, I love this one too. A Midsummer Night's Fairy. She's pretty. Let's see. Lady Mirabilia. She's gorgeous. And she is the 25th anniversary pattern that Nora had done. And this one comes with a little butterfly embellishment in the chart, or in the packaging of the chart, which is why you see these on the sides. That's not typical for a pattern. The Snow Maiden. She's a newer chart. She's beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love this one. Angel of the New Dawn. I think she's an OOP. I think. I don't remember. Stone Roses. Love Stone Roses. This one is still available. This is still available on the Mirabilia website. Winter White Santa. Now, Winter White Santa also comes with a charm. What is his charm? Oh, I think it's the button for, is it the button for the tree? I think it might have been this little button for the tree. Anyways, that was in there. Oh my goodness, this one. Oh, I love Siren and this Shipwreck. There's just something so super elegant about her. I don't know if it's like the expression on her face, if it's her hair. I love everything about her. Love everything about her. Lilith of Labrador. I had looked at this pattern for a long time. When did she? Oh, 2019. And I didn't get it, and I didn't get it. And then finally,
I was at my LNS in Washington, Threadneedle Street, and I bought a ton of mermaids, and she was one. A Renaissance mermaid. Oh my goodness, she's pretty. It's also pretty. I love the mermaids. When I first started and saw that Mirabilias, you know, had a lot of mermaids, and I was like, oh, I love mermaids. They're just such, I love water, and I like to think that I'm a little fishy, and I mean, who wouldn't want to meet a mermaid someday? So, Aphrodite mermaid, love her too. She's so pretty. And then Charlotte. And for those of you who are going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat in North Carolina in October, the Mirabilia Retreat, this is the pattern that is being done, that has been suggested because her name is Charlotte, and you're going to North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and which is where the retreat is being held. And so she's just very, very pretty, and there's many people who are going to that retreat who have started her or will start her at the retreat, or whatever the case is. Gathering eggs. Okay, so gathering eggs is an OOP. I believe she's an OOP. You can get this pattern in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I will have to look it up because I have that magazine. I don't remember the year, but if you Google Gathering Eggs, Just Cross Stitch magazine, it will pop up and tell you what year that magazine was. And if you can manage to find that magazine on the secondary market, there is a slight variation to the magazine to this pattern, I believe. I don't remember what it is, but I believe that there's a slight variation between the magazine pattern and this one here. Let's see here. Waiting for Ships. Oh, I also love Waiting for Ships. And I think that Amy, Fiber Arts Amy, and I are going to do this one when we are done Garden Beauty, I believe. Bedtime Friends. So Nora had done a line of like nursery type patterns, and I just thought that this was so cute and could be made into a burr sampler. I just think that that is just adorable, because then you can change, like if you want to change the color of the bows, you can make them blue or green or yellow or purple or whatever you wanted to do. You can totally change those. You can change the color of the baby. I mean, you can do so much to make this different and into a burr sampler. Thought that was really cute. Moonlight Lullaby, same thing. You don't have to put these words down at the bottom, which says, it's not a slight thing when they who are so fresh from God love us, which is a Dickens quote. And but you could take that out and you could make this into a burr sampler as well. So pretty. The Rose of Sharon. Oh my goodness, I got super lucky, and my LNS had this chart, and so I got it for retail price. You can find her on the secondary market as well. I don't think that she's a whole lot. The Fairy Moon, also an OOP, I believe. I'm not really good about remembering which is an OOP and which isn't, so don't quote me. But this is a 1993 release, and she's pretty. I have seen many people stitching this one. Oh my goodness, this one, Christmas Elegance. I received this from a friend, and I was very lucky. She's beautiful. I love her. Again, just the elegance of My Lady's Garden. She's beautiful too. And in my next floss tube, you will see something about my lady's garden. My regular type video, which I'm hoping I get to next week. Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty was, this was the 1994 release. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then I have all the queens. So this is Winter Queen. Now, I believe that Winter Queen is the only queen that has not been OOP'd. I think Autumn, was it Autumn Queen just recently was retired. And so this is Winter Queen. Summer Queen. Summer Queen, I believe, is out of print. Retired. And then Spring Queen. Hopefully behind this I have Autumn Queen. I don't. These are not in any order. They used to be in order, and then I don't know what happened. Savannah's Curtsy. Oh man. Was this a re-release at some point? And maybe that's why I have it. Help me out, you guys who know about the Mirabilias. Okay, Tatiana, the Queen of the Fairies. Again, she is one I just absolutely love. Love. Oh, Enchanted Dreamer. Also a really, really, really pretty pattern. Also OOP, I believe. And my LNS had this one as well, so I snapped that up. Oh, here's Autumn Queen. Autumn Queen. Rose Arbor. Oh my goodness, I love her too. Queen of Sharon. Rose of Sharon and Rose Arbor, I think, would look gorgeous. Yep, I love. The Scent of Old Roses. Also love this one. I mean, okay, so if you look down in here, right? So that's what I mean about blocks of color. Like that, this whole thing, with the exception of, I think those are beads, that's just a block of color. So nice and easy. Oh, here's another of the I don't want to say nursery, but kind of nursery. Mother's Bliss. She's pretty too. And again, this is also one you could make into a burr sampler, and you just change the bunting of the baby. If you don't like the pink sash, I'm not a pink girl, you could change that to a different color. I love this. Love it. Pretty. Oh, also one I love, Christmas Wishes. Now, Nora did a couple of Christmas ones. There's quite a few Santas, and those are almost all of her males. There's a couple of other male, like angels, but she doesn't have like a, other than like in the Kiss, there's a male. But she doesn't have a lot of like male standalones, and I'm really hoping that she puts out like a male mermaid or like a strong male character. That would be really cool. So anyways, Christmas Wishes. Now these two, oh, I coveted these so hard. Lady of the Flag. These ones are OOP and sometimes go for ridiculous amounts of money on the secondary market. I mean, I encourage you not to pay $550 for a pattern, but you know, if this is your dream pattern and you're willing to spend that kind of money, I mean, they sell, so obviously. Queen of Freedom, she's also beautiful. So Queen of Freedom and Queen of Peace were my two, like, seriously unicorn charts. And I did get this one for my LNS. And love her. Love her. The Woodland Fairy. Super pretty. This is one of the males that I was talking about, Guardian Angel. The other one is the Archangel. And funny enough, when I was going back through, and seeing what I had done for previous Mira Mays, the very first one that I did was Archangel. So the first year of Mira May that I started the vlog style series, he was one of those, and he's still a whip. Can you believe that? He's still a whip. Carrying Wings. She's so pretty too. I really like these like angel-y type. Yeah, they're so elegant. Butterfly Fairy. Oh, I got so lucky, and I found this pattern at Acorns and Threads in Portland, and Portland, Oregon, and it was a one only, and I got so very lucky and got the last one. Ring Around the Rose Tree. So cute. So cute. Those little kids. Those 4 little girls. I always wish that I had a sister. I didn't get a sister. I got a brother instead. So, I mean, I could always make them that, it's my great-grandma, my grandma, or even my grandma, my mom, me, my daughter, and my granddaughter could do as well. What is this one? Emerald Mermaid. Somebody had stitched this and had Craft Gallery frame it, and it was gorgeous. It was on the wall when I went there to pick up one of my pieces, and Paula did such a beautiful job on it. And I do believe that Amy, Fiber Arts Amy, is, I get all of the mermaids confused, but I'm pretty sure she's doing Emerald Mermaid, and it's stunning. Oh, I love this one. Royal Holiday. She is so pretty. Lily of the Woods, the Dreaming Fairy. Oh, absolutely love her too. And I think I have the perfect fabric, or I picked the perfect fabric for her, I think. White Christmas. Also love her. Lady of the Mist. These ones with their big poofy dresses. Oh, I love so much. Just love so much. And if go up close and you see all of this very elegant detailing in the dress, that's all beading. They're gorgeous. Mermaid of the Atlantis. I love the mermaids. I wanted to be a mermaid. Bluebeard's Princess. She was the very first mermaid I ever actually bought. Is this the first one? I want to say it is. It might be, there might be another one that's very, very similar to this that I also may have chosen first. But this is in the top, like 3 of the first mermaids that I ever bought. Gorgeous. Okay, this one, Shakespeare's Fairies. This was the very first, one of the first patterns that I bought. I'm not entirely sure in which order I bought them, because really when I went to my LNS, I was super intimidated by all of the Mirabilias. And the very first time I walked out with absolutely nothing. I couldn't make up my mind. I was a little blown away by, how much Krynic and how many beads it needed, and the DMC list and stuff. And this was also like, this was very this was just after the fire, and so I was a little stressed out too. So so making choices was not a good thing at that time, but I did go back, and I really like this one because it reminds me of there's a little red-headed one in there, and then 2 brunettes, and I just thought it would be cute for my mom, my daughter, and myself. But now I have a little granddaughter, which I did not have back 20 years ago. And so now it might just be my daughter, my granddaughter, and myself. We'll see. Anyways, she's gorgeous. She does, this one was expensive to kit. And it was funny because when I purchased this one, Denise kind of knew, you know, that like they can be expensive, and had said, you know, that this one's going to be very expensive to kit up. And why? Because she requires 6, 8, 10, 12 packages just of treasures, and then 9 packages of Mill Hill beads. So she, and you know, those treasures, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. And then to find 6 all at once too can be difficult. So anyways, Shakespeare's Fairies. This one I bought because I saw Janet Jabber do this one on her floss tube a couple of years ago, I think. And she actually is the one who inspired me to do last year a freebie on a different count, because that's what she did with this one. She did Silver Moon Tea, or maybe it wasn't this one, but it was another one that was in the, and I don't think I have it, like the Apple Box series or whatever it is. Sorry, Janet. I know what you did. Clearly I don't know what you did, but you inspired me because of this little teeny tiny thing. And I think she did it on a different count fabric, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. So this one's called Silver Moon Tea, and this is a smaller pattern. It's only 8.13 by 8.13. And this one does have the 2 different sizes of fabric, the 32 count Violet Mist Linen, or a 16 count Violet Mist Ada. She's beautiful. Super pretty. And of course I have her bead pack with her. Not all of my bead packs are in this box because I just didn't have space. So I've kitted them up elsewhere. All right, this beauty. I love her, Gypsy Queen. She is gorgeous. Her colors in here are just, the way Nora puts colors together, phenomenal, just phenomenal. And I love her. She is a beauty. We're almost at the end of my, well, of the stash that I have found. This one is this a Snow Queen? Yes, the Snow Queen. I have seen this one stitched up numerous times. And she also was one that I purchased very early on. Not that early, because she's 15.50. And when I first started buying the patterns, they were $10. Then they went up to $12, and then they were $13 and $13.50, and then they went up to $14.50, and then they went to $15.50. So there's this progression of, you know, along the way. But this one obviously was in the later. What year was this one done? That might help a lot. 2016 for the Snow Queen. And she is gorgeous, and like I said, I've seen her stitched up numerous times. I had a cut of fabric. Denise cut me the fabric for this one and for the Enchanted Mermaid. Is it the Enchanted Mermaid? They're both on the same fabric. Lady of Mystery. She's pretty too. We've seen many people do her. Oh, I love this one also. Sun Goddess. Many of these queens are retired, with the exception of like the Snow Queen. She's still around. And Winter Queen, I think, is still available. But Sun Goddess, she's gorgeous. Oh, this one also. I love all of these. Garden Prelude. So pretty. The Queen Bee. Also very pretty. And in the Nora series, she has I don't think she calls her the queen bee there, but she's got a companion basically for this chart. Twisted mermaids. So pretty. Now this one calls for a lot of, it calls for 3 Charon water lilies, and they're gorgeous. Just beautiful. Botanical gardens. Oh, loved her too. Or I love her. And I don't know if you are a Mirabilia lover, you know this, but Nora has been releasing a lot of like just kind of portrait style Miras. And her latest one, Luda, she's gorgeous, just gorgeous. And then my last one, at least that I have found in my mess of patterns and things, there needs to be a major cleanup in here. Rosamond. And she is is she a fairly newish one? Yes, 2022. So those are all of the patterns. Many of them are contenders because I want to say that a good majority of these I have, again, kitted up to enough that I can start. And whether I have absolutely every bead or every petite treasure braid or every Charon water lily, you know, I may not have every one of those, but for the most part I do have the DMCs, and I have gotten the majority of the fabrics picked out. Obviously I have to have the fabrics picked out or I couldn't start. So anyways, if there's anything in here that you would like to see or you think I might choose for my 5 Miras of May, let me know. Put it down in the comment below and see which ones I might be choosing. I'm very excited. I loved what I did last year, and unfortunately I don't even think that I pulled any of those out this year to stitch, or even at the end of last year to stitch. So I'm looking at the pile. So yeah, that's unfortunate. They really should get out and be loved. Maybe I'll do like a year of Miras. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I don't know. Something upcoming in the future. We'll see. But I have a love of so many patterns. But Miras are very, very much at the top. And so, anyways, that is kind of my Mira kits, so to speak, or my Mira charts that you get to see. And again, if there's anything that you're excited to maybe see started, please let me know that down in the comments below. Or if you think you know what I'm going to choose, put that down below. Remember, I'm just doing one OOP, and it will not be Lady of the Flag or Queen of Freedom. It won't be either one of those because, again, it's very cost prohibitive for many people too, and plus, you know, only a few show up every once in a while on eBay, so it's not like there's, you know, the market's flooded with those charts or anything. Again, the reason why they're so expensive. So anything other than those ones, let me know if you have an idea or what you would like to see. And then we'll all be surprised come Monday, because this is Sunday, the end of April. And tomorrow, for goodness sakes, is May the 1st, which is also my grandma's birthday. So I am going to, just a little teaser, pick something that reminds me of my grandma. Not the little 4 girls and not Shakespeare's fairies, but something else that reminds me of my grandma. And that actually will be what I'm doing for the first week. So, little spoiler, let's see if you guess what that is. And then other than that, I hope that you will enjoy Mira May and the weekly uploads, and join me. And if you are at all interested in doing Mira May, oh my goodness, I would love for you to come and join me. It would be so much fun, and I would love that. If you are inspired to do Mira May as well, and just pull out, even if you pull out like mirrors that you've already started and want to, you know, get them stitched up, get them out, get out all of the pretties. All right, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed, and until we meet again, hugs and stitches.